Hi, welcome back to The Distressed Princess. I'm Rhonda. In today's video, I'm joining in on Sammy Veltry's Try It Tuesday challenge. In this challenge, we take inspiration and great ideas from other talented crafters and try to recreate them ourselves. This way we get to share each other's ideas and maybe you'll get to see some things that you've never seen before. The links to the original creators will be in my description box below along with the playlist. And here are the DIYs that I'm working on today. The first project was inspired by DIY Designs by Bonnie over on TikTok. She made a metal leaf wreath out of some cake pans and a wreath from the Dollar Tree. So I wasn't exactly sure what size cake pan that the original creator used. So I bought 4 of these Jiffy Foil cake pans, and this is the larger wreath from the Dollar Tree, which I will cut down. First thing to do is remove all the labels from the cake pans and get them ready for cutting. You'll need a sharp pair of scissors and you will cut one line down each corner of the cake pan. Now the original creator cut more lines. I didn't see that that was necessary. I just cut the corners and bent the edges down like flaps, and then you can easily cut them right off. Now you just have the smooth bottom of the cake pan to work with. And please do be careful and protect your hands and wear gloves if necessary, because the edges of that pan can be sharp. I freehanded a drawing of a leaf onto a piece of poster board to use as my template, and then I'm going around the edges of it with a Sharpie onto the cake pan. And if I squish them all together as closely as I possibly can, I can fit 9 leaves on the bottom of this pan. Then use your scissors to cut out all the metal leaves. And repeat this whole process on all 4 cake pans. To make the leaves more realistic, put a crease in the center, just bending them up using a ruler. The original creator painted her leaves with a few different colors, I think there was a brown and a black. You'll have to go watch her TikTok and see for sure. But I wanted my leaves to be white, so I'm giving all of the leaves a brush with just some white chalk paint just on the one side. Once the white paint was all dry, then I went back with some Waverly Antique Wax, and I'm going to lightly go around the edges with a chippy brush to give them a rusty edge effect. Then I decided to cut my wreath down because it was going to be a little bit more than what my leaves could cover. So I just cut off the outside ring. To glue the leaves in place, I went with E6000, and this one came with a precision tip, which I thought was going to make it a lot easier. The original creator used hot glue. However, I've never had any luck gluing metal to metal with hot glue, so I skipped that and just going to use the E6000. Now, as you know, E6000 takes a little bit to cure, so you have to be careful while you're doing this, not to move your leaves around too much. And the first leaf is just glued right down to the wreath, but from here on out, I'm going to overlap them just slightly. So I'm putting some E6000 on top of the leaf so that the next leaf can overlap. Assembly goes pretty fast, and my design, I should mention, is a little bit different than the original creator's design. She had 2 layers. She had enough leaves, and maybe her wreath was small enough that she was able to do 2 layers, but My wreath was bigger than hers, or maybe I didn't cut enough leaves. I'm not sure. I was only able to get one layer to go all the way around. But I think it turned out like a cutie pie, so I have to thank you, DIY Designs by Bonnie, because this was a really cute idea. Now, I know you know our host, Sammy Veltri, over at Unicorn Dust Designs, and here are just a few things that she's came out with recently. She is in full swing Christmas over on her channel, and the link to her channel will be in my description box below, as well as the link to the playlist of all the other people that joined in the challenge today, and the links to the original TikTok creators. The next project today is inspired by Lexi.diy on TikTok. She made this lantern centerpiece, which I really think was for a wedding. However, I'm going to make it for just everyday decor. I believe she used the 8x10 canvases from the Dollar Tree. My Dollar Tree didn't have any more 8x10s, so I had to use the 5x7s. Okay, don't shoot the messenger, but you do have to remove the staples from the canvases on this project. But I am using this teeny tiny little flathead screwdriver that came in a set out of the Dollar Tree, and it was the perfect thing to slide under those staples and get them popped up just a little bit so that my pliers would have something to grab and yank them right out of those canvases. Now, Lexi used some stain, and she stained her frames, but I'm going to use, you guessed it, white chalk paint. And I just did a little rough coat all over the inside, outside, the whole thing. I am really fond of this Super Glue brand wood glue that you get at the Dollar Tree. It works so well, and it doesn't take as long as normal wood glue does to set, I swear. So that's what I'm using in this project. I just do a line of it on one side of the frame, and I hold the next frame very tight for a good little spell, I don't know, a few minutes until I feel like it can stand up on its own. And then do the same thing with another frame. Just pay attention that the ugly sides, because there's a prettier side and an uglier side to these frames, make sure the ugly side is facing inward and the prettier side is facing outward. Then run 2 lines of the wood glue on the tops of the frames and set your last one in place. Just make sure everything is lined up correctly and nothing is wonky, and hold it into place for just a few minutes until it's a little more stable and secure. And then when I feel like it's stable enough to stand on its own, then I put a little stack of books on top to weigh it down until it is completely dry. Next, you will need a square piece of white floral foam from the Dollar Tree and whatever florals that you plan to use. I'm using these white hydrangeas that I got at the Dollar General store and some random greenery bushes that I just had already on hand. And you will also need a LED candle, and this one came from the Dollar Tree. I suppose this part is optional, but I wanted my candle to set down inside the styrofoam a little bit. So I traced around the candle onto the styrofoam, and then I'm going to use a knife to cut out that circle and dig into the styrofoam a little bit so that the candle can sit down inside it some. Then just start putting in all of your florals and your greenery. The inspiration piece didn't have a bow, but I wanted one for mine, so I'm just going to do the simplest bow I know how to make, which is just looping this ribbon back and forth until I have 3 loops on both sides, and then I'm going to cinch it all together in the middle with a black zip tie. Then just fluff it all out and cut off the tail of the zip tie when you're done. To attach the bow to the centerpiece, I'm using a piece of wire that actually came off of one of the flowers that I cut down, but any piece of floral wire will do, and I just slipped it right under the zip tie and twisted it in the back and then stuck it into the floral foam. And nothing is hot glued in place, so this could easily be switched out for fall decor and Christmas. As a matter of fact, after I filmed my making of this lantern, I ran onto some eucalyptus I forgot I had, so I switched it out. Check out the link in my description box to shop in my Amazon store, where you'll find all my favorite craft supplies and home decor items on a budget. This one comes from one of my favorite crafty TikTokers, Barefoot and Freckled. She has a lot of cute ideas, and these fabric roses was one that I wanted to try. I decided to use it as an experiment. Now, the original creator used strips of fabric that she hot glued together to make a hem, but I wondered if we couldn't do this with a piece of wired ribbon. So you see I have my ruler out here, and I'm going to cut a length that is 24 inches. Put your finger protectors on, because we're going to hot glue these roses together. And Lord help me try to explain how this is done. Begin with a diagonal fold and hot glue that down. Now, if you're looking at the ends of this as a triangle, you want to dog ear the left and right corners of the triangle and glue them down. Then put a line of hot glue connecting your 2 folds and roll it inward. This creates the bud that will be the center of your rose. Twist and bend the ribbon upward from behind, and this is where you will put your first line of hot glue, attaching what will be the beginning of your petals to the rosebud. Then twist and pull the ribbon around the rosebud, and this will make a petal, and you hot glue that in place. And then just continue twisting and pulling and wrapping those petals around the rosebud, hot gluing each one down after you've twisted it and put it where it needs to be. When you come to the end, there will be a little teeny tiny piece of ribbon still sticking out. Just twist it under and hot glue it to the back. I made 2 that were using the 24-inch length of ribbon, and I made 1 smaller one that was 15 inches of ribbon. And I thought that they would be really cute to dress up this Plain Jane photo album that I have. Then I used 2 spare leaves that I had from my previous DIY where I cut my flowers down, and I'm going to use them as leaves for my roses. And I think I'll be making some more of these roses in the future for all kinds of stuff. Now let's take a look back at all the TikTok inspired DIYs today. Hey, thanks for spending time with me today and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out Sammy Veltri over at Unicorn Dust Designs. Her link is in my description, along with the playlist of everyone else who participated in this challenge and the original creators over on TikTok. If you haven't seen them yet, you should go check them out. And I'll see you next time. Bye!